Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for listening to Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang and you're joining us on Geek Out, where we talk about what's your cup of tea, what tickles your fancy, what floats your boat. Join us as we share passions from people in Taiwan and around the world. Today we're joined in the studio by our very own FM team's Issy Wells.
Hi everyone.
Hey, well, I kind of just like to jump into our topics, but today we're going to be talking about dogs.
Yes,
because
dogs.
We're both pet moms. We're both dog moms, and it's one of my favorite subjects ever.
Yeah.
And maybe if we do have time left over, some stationery stuff. Also, also love that. Also love collecting various types of stationery. Okay, we'll be right back. Hey everybody! So welcome back to Geek Out, our show that talks about what people are very passionate about. So, Issy, you have a dog. I have a dog.
I do have a dog.
Tell us about your dog.
Okay, if you insist. So, he's called Boo, Boo, or if it's Chinese, like Abu.
Oh, cute!
Because sometimes Taiwanese people have problem like pronouncing. They're like boo boo, like they're like, right. And then you're like Abu, and they're like oh. Yeah, he's really cute, and he's last time we weighed him, he's like 3 kilograms.
Oh, super cute.
So he's a little small dog.
He's not a teacup Pomeranian.
No, he's not a teacup
a standard Pomeranian.
He's a standard Pomeranian. And we have actually had some funny. I can't remember if I've told you about this before or not, but sometimes this was more when he was younger and he was going through that fur change. So Pomeranians go through a phase where they lose all their fur, like their baby fur.
Baby fur to adult fur.
Yes, and he was looking very scraggly. And honestly, every time we would take him on a walk, people would be like, "What kind of dog is this?" I'd be like, "He's a Pomeranian." They'd be like, "Really?"
Well, look, okay, everybody has a weird gangly phase when we're all teenagers, right? So dogs do too. Dogs definitely have a weird phase.
Yeah.
But so after they go through scraggly teenagehood, they then grow out their pretty trademark Pomeranian fur, right?
Yes.
So right.
And he's only had a haircut maybe 2 or 3 times, and he's coming up to a year.
Okay.
And so first of all, because apparently if they get their hair cut too early on, it doesn't grow back.
Yeah.
So because I remember we went to the little dog park that I think we've both been to.
We've probably both been to it. It's called Ingfeng, and it's like along the river.
Along the river, yeah.
Before you go into the Neihu Costco area, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's the same one.
Yeah. And there was one Pomeranian there, and he had like a whole chunk of his back which didn't have any fur.
Oh no.
And the owner was like, "Oh, it's because basically we cut his fur too early or something."
Oh no.
So he was very, very fluffy for a long period of time, and then we got a haircut. Well, he got a haircut. And so he has much like shorter fur now, which I actually prefer. It's a lot more convenient.
Yeah.
Because when it was like giving him a wash was quite, you've got to do the whole shampoo, everything, and then drying all that, and like most dogs, he doesn't like the hair dryer.
You have to sit there with a hairdryer for ages in order to get him
and then it's like
dry.
hair dry, and then it's like comb and the hair dry. So that was a whole process. But now the shorter fur is very cute, and also he's got a lot of little outfits, and his outfits like go better on with his
slightly shorter
hair.
hair, right?
Yeah.
Oh, your dog has outfits too. So does mine.
Oh, amazing! How we actually, funny story. We moved into a flat like not too long ago, a few months ago, and the tenants that lived there before us had a baby or like a young child, and they'd left behind like little baby hangers.
Oh, cute. Baby hangers.
Yeah.
So perfect.
So I've hung up all of Boo's clothes next to ours, and then a little baby hangers.
Oh my goodness.
So it does look I have a child.
That is so perfect. I mean, I have like a drawer where all of Rue's, yes, my dog name is Rue, R-O-U-X, but it's French, so that we don't say the X. But right, I have a drawer full of her clothes, all neatly folded and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know that it was a dog's drawer, then you would probably think it was an infant's drawer, right?
Yeah. Rue and Boo still need to have a play date.
We do. We go to the same dog park. I'm pretty sure I'm on the big dog side and you're on the small dog side. So we've never seen each other there, right?
Yeah, that would explain things.
Right. But I mean, I'll pop over to the small dog
Yeah.
side a little bit.
It's fun there. So it's funny. There's the number, although I am always surprised. Well, not surprised because now I know that Taiwanese people love white Pomeranians, but there's always so many white dogs and always so many Pomeranians and white Pomeranians. And it's like, where's Boo? Where's Boo?
Yeah. I guess it's very handy then to have a specific shirt on him.
Yeah.
That way he's easy to identify. Like your suitcase when it goes around the
exactly.
turntable.
Yeah. And it's my boyfriend's Taiwanese, and so I'm from the UK, so we have a very different temperature radar, let's say.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's like very normal temperature, and he'll be like, "It's so cold outside."
So cold.
He'll be like, "Boo has to wear clothes today."
Well, that's actually the same thing between me and my husband.
Oh yeah.
He is from California, but he never like lived above the San Francisco like line, I guess. So never any place cold. Right. And I spend a lot of time on the East Coast, but like Boston, New York, where it gets, the storms come in and dump feet of snow on us. So yes, it's just very similar. He thinks it's freezing. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I actually have to think more for my dog at this point because Rue she doesn't have an undercoat. She's single coated, which means she, I guess, sides more with my husband in the way where she thinks it's freezing. Right. So, okay. So as far as Taiwan and dog ownership or dog parenting, I should say, parenting. We're really their parents and not their owners.
Exactly.
Right. Well, assuming in England you've known either had yourself or known people who have had dogs.
Yes.
What are any like marked differences in dog culture here versus there?
Oh yes.
What have you noticed?
So first of all, the first one that struck me was, and this was before I was a dog parent,
right?
Was the strollers, the dogs in strollers.
Oh yeah. Same.
Like little push chairs, and I was like, but in the UK, I think they have them. I've never actually seen them, but I think maybe if you're like elderly or
disabled, right?
Yeah,
or elderly
so like
dogs.
they do exist, but like if they're not on the scale that they do here,
right?
It's so common.
It's really common to see a dog in a stroller here. It's like you see a pram, and you're like, baby or dog, baby or dog.
Yeah. And originally I was like, that's like the most silly idea ever. I would never do that. And now I'm a little pram for
you have one now.
No, I don't have one, but it's on my wish list.
Right. Well, partly because I think trying to access certain locations in Taiwan, you have to have your dog in a container.
Yes.
And if you don't have a really tiny dog, that can get kind of heavy. So yes.
Just like convenience as well, because sometimes in Taiwan there's sometimes there's not pavement. You're just kind of like walking in the road, but like the pedestrian kind of like green path.
True.
So and or if you're going to like night markets, like it's convenient. So I can understand that, and I kind of just want to be a little like dog mum with my little push chair.
Yeah, Rue is still being only a little over a year. She's still like super interested in everything that's going on, which means it can also be dangerous, like you say, if it's not an actual sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And another thing that I've noticed is in regards to, I guess, how people train their dogs.
Yes.
In terms of like going to the toilet. So because in Taiwan it's a lot of flats.
Yes.
And there's
primarily.
So less outdoor space. In the UK, we'd all just like train our dogs to go to the bathroom outside in our garden. We go for walks. So, and the walks thing is the same here, but I think most people that I've spoken to, I know you trained Rue to go on your balcony, right?
Yes, but not everybody has a balcony.
Yeah, so most people that I spoke to when I was like thinking about how to go through like the toilet training process with Boo was that they get their dog to go to the toilet in the bathroom,
right?
And they have like a little like pee pad for them there, or like something there. So that's another thing. But I think that comes with this as well is that it's maybe more confusing for dogs when they're in inside spaces because they don't have so much of a distinction. But I know this is what I've kind of made up, but they don't have so much distinction between the inside and outside. So I've seen some people put nappies on their dogs to stop them like from peeing. So
But you're absolutely correct. It's like that's the argument that a lot of dog trainers make.
Yeah.
With either the paper method, which is the newspaper, in the inside, or now it's pee pads.
Right. Yeah.
Versus going outside, right? Dogs have a much harder time distinguishing, especially if you take them to other houses. Like Rue goes to visit my parents or other friends' houses, and she does know that the outside is the outside and the inside's the inside. So you can't go to the bathroom inside the house. Has this stopped her? Occasionally, no. But dog trainers do make that argument. It's like it is more difficult to use the paper method because then they have to, like, I guess, be on the slightly smarter side.
Yes, yeah.
They have to go on this pad, right?
So, and when I've taken Boo to doggy daycare,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So they've said that because he's male and he lifts his leg when he pees, he has to wear a nappy when he goes, which I'm not super keen about
because it does get on his fur. In that case.
It gets on his fur, and then it's also like, well, then he's just peeing everywhere, and he's like, there's no like problem with it. It's like, you can just pee wherever you want. There's not going to be an issue with it. So, but bless, the first time I took him to doggy daycare, I think he was like very nervous. So he didn't pee for like a while.
Oh no.
And I said to them, I was like, I'm trying to, this was when I'm trying to just teach him most of the time to go to the toilet outside. So, is it like, why are they doing the toilet business? Right. What's the situation? They're like, oh no, it's pee pad inside. And I was like, okay, like he should be fine with that. But then they went like, it'd been like a couple hours and he like still hadn't peed.
Oh no.
And so they took him outside to like the little balcony, but he still didn't pee. But then eventually towards the end of it, he did pee. And I think that was just,
nerves. It was definitely just nerves. New places, new people. I mean, like maybe because I guess going to the bathroom is very vulnerable.
Yeah. So he doesn't, I've noticed this, okay. He does not like going to the toilet in front of anyone. So I've
interesting.
Yeah. So
Rue's the opposite.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's a much better way to be, because I went through a period of where I was like, so now it's like Boo just makes his own way into the bathroom, does his business, and then comes out. But I was trying to do it where I was like, he would go when I'd say, okay, so I'd be like, we're going to the bathroom now, and I'd like put him inside, put him on his pee pad, wait for him to pee, and he just like wouldn't do it. Then I'd go away, and in 5 minutes he'd like go and take himself there and do it.
Oh, well, he likes his privacy.
So Rue's the opposite.
Well, okay, so it's actually, and it goes both ways. She will tend to follow people into the bathroom and sit there and not watch you, but like face outwards as if she were guarding you against danger.
I've seen that's a thing online.
Because apparently people are very vulnerable when we use the bathroom. I guess the leopards will get us.
And it's the thing as well, when they go to the toilet and they make eye contact with you, and they're like really staring at you, it's because like
it's a little weird, but
they're wanting you to like take guard or like look after them while they're vulnerable.
Yeah, she also has trouble eating if one of us is not actually within eye.
Is that an attention thing?
I think it is a security problem, right? Like you feeling insecure.
That's sweet. I'm actually there's a recent issue with Boo. Well, it's not an issue, but I think maybe he's become tired of the food that he has.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, we've like switched in between ones to kind of like jazz it up.
Yep.
But we've like settled on this one. Anyway, he started. It's one of those things where if we're not there, he'll eat it. But if I'm there, he won't eat it unless
making a statement.
Yeah, unless I put it in my hand.
Oh, okay.
Or I've started this thing, which is what I did this morning with him actually, it's basically like a little game. So I put a few like, what are they, like the little like
kibble.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and then I'll like flick it towards him. And then I'll like keep flicking them, and so it's like a game, and he has to eat them, and while I flick. So
well, I mean, I do use Rue's kibble as like treats, right?
Yeah.
To play games with. But
I know.
Well, to each their own.
To each their own.
I can talk your ear off about food though. It's like the Rue's on a raw diet.
Oh wow! So
or
like
50%
raw meat.
Yeah, raw meat. She gets like last night's dinner was raw chicken party wings.
Wow.
And she had, what was it, carrots, blueberries, and bananas.
Oh wow! So and that's
and cabbage. I think it was.
Do you mix that with the dry food?
Oh no,
or
it's just served. It's served on a plate as if you were going to get ready for a stir fry, right?
Wow! And is that meant to be really good for them?
Well, there is a working theory that dogs in general haven't been eating cooked food or processed food in any way until just recently. Until they literally moved in with people, and people started more or less just buying, I guess, marketed dog food, food that's marketed as dog food from a pet store or at least a supermarket. So before that, dogs would eat kitchen scraps. And then before we had kitchens, they would be, around in our camps, and they would eat whatever meat that we wouldn't be eating.
Sure.
And other, vegetables or fruits or whatnot that we collected. So, yeah, it's only within the last 100 to 200 years that dogs have been eating, kibble or canned or quote unquote processed food.
Did Rue have any stomach problems when you started putting her on it?
The opposite. She actually had stomach problems, and I tried raw food as a way to stop that. Oh. And lo and behold, no stomach problems. The instant that the first meal that we gave her that was raw, she no longer had diarrhea.
Wow. So and is that you said it was 50-50? How does that work?
We do in the morning we do like some kind of grain-free kibble, and we actually move it around. Like we stock like 2 bags in the pantry, and every meal is different, and then we buy a different brand every time we run out of a different out of one of the foods. So yes, very jazzed up, I guess.
Maybe I should try that for Boo.
You could.
It sounds like a lot of work.
No, not really. Because it also encourages us to meal prep for ourselves, right?
Sure.
When we go to the grocery store, we're buying meats and vegetables and fruit anyway.
So and it's uncooked.
It's uncooked. It's just straight up piece of chicken.
So what's the reason between it being uncooked and not cooked?
Because if you heat something, you destroy the nutrients that are in it.
Oh,
right? And of course, the chicken actually has the bone as well, so she eats the bone. Minerals. It's once you cook the bone, the nature of the bone becomes hard and brittle, and then it actually will, when it breaks, become shards, which then is dangerous to give to a dog.
Okay, yeah.
Right, but uncooked bone is actually quite safe.
Oh, I didn't
They grind
know.
it up and eat it. It's quite very, National Geographic.
So Rue, does Rue ever eat or like nibble on any things that she shouldn't?
Like human food? Absolutely. She gets into people's food. It's bad. Yesterday we were having takeout. It's American style Asian, Chinese food, right? Yeah. It's not even Chinese food. It's really not. It's just really greasy, like battered chicken and orange sauce and that stuff. Yeah. And our backs are turned for just like 1 second, and of course she's stolen herself a big chunk of meat. That happens. Yeah. And then promptly gets diarrhea. Oh no. How about Boo? Does Boo get into what he shouldn't?
Boo. So Boo used to be a big beggar of food. But now it's like silent begging. So
he'll sit there, he'll make eyes at you.
He'll sit then right next to you, or like on your lap even.
Right.
And just like give you the eyes.
I haven't eaten.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry.
I want some. So it's just the self-control. I have to be like, no, Boo.
Right.
But then there's also there's a few things that he loves to have that he shouldn't. Yeah. And this isn't like all food.
Okay.
So masks, he loves masks.
Oh, they share so much in common, I swear. Yeah. Okay, so masks.
Masks, yeah. And then tissues, tissues. And then, this is a weird one, elastic bands.
Okay. They don't taste good. I wonder
really
why.
Loves elastic bands. Well, he doesn't eat them.
Okay.
He doesn't eat them.
He plays with them.
Okay. Which originally I was like, no, but then I was like, dangerous. But then it's actually, he just
plays with them. He doesn't eat them. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And there's another thing, which is my flatmates are not happy about, but they're earplugs.
Oh no.
Yeah. So they're like natural earwax. Okay. No, not earwax. Natural. What are they? Natural like.
Squishy. What are that?
Yeah.
So
like you mold them
to
your ears, and then like. So there was the first time where I I found this. Okay, this is like a little TMI, but
It's fine.
they came at these little like blobs in his poop, and I was like, "What the hell are
is
these?"
that?
I was like, "What is he
Oh,
eating?"
gross.
Turns out my flatmate goes, "My earplugs are missing." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I think Boo ate them." Okay, and this has happened, and now I'm like, "Guys, you need to put your earplugs away."
Yeah.
Okay, it's happened 3 or 4 times.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
and I'll find, and I won't know, but I will just find like earplugs in his poop. And luckily, because I think they're like natural, so they literally just come in one end and out the other end.
Right. If it's like some kind of just wax, it
yeah.
should just go out.
Yeah.
Right.
So but
but
it's
still
not good.
alarming.
I know he loves them, he really loves them. I don't know, and I was like, I thought you would just like I guess maybe if they're like natural and kind of like chewy, like he thinks they're food. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be that they smell like food.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Odd. Yeah. Bru's just she's all about tissue and masks.
Yeah.
And stealing a snack now and then off the table, which she really shouldn't. But right.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I think dog culture in Taiwan is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of small minor differences with the US and I guess also the UK.
Yeah.
But it's gotten really fun
Yeah.
because there are products here that I can get that I can't get in the US.
Oh really? Like what kind of products?
Right. For example, we like to let the dog stay in the room with us overnight, right? But if she wants to go out and like sniff around the house, also we have a cat who likes to go in and out the room.
Did they get on?
No. More on that later. but so we don't like to shut the door. But we also don't want to leave the door wide open if we have the heater or the air conditioning on, right?
Yeah.
So they make this weird little rubber doodad that will like swing the door back shut.
Oh.
But there's also a thing at the bottom that allows the pet to open the door.
Wow.
Right?
That's really cool.
I've never seen this in the US and it's extremely useful. So
that's very cool.
Innovation.
Do you have one of those cameras where when you're not in the house?
I do. I do. It's on right now. We can look at our dogs.
Amazing.
Yeah, we can look
and
at
can
what
you
they're
speak?
doing.
Can you speak to them?
Yep. It's called the Furbo. That actually was released in the US, although it's made here.
Oh.
And you can even like
Is it expensive?
a little bit. I think it was I think it's 125, 150 US dollars.
Okay.
But yeah, you can even like throw treats via the machine
Wow,
and stuff. It's
that's
one of those.
amazing.
It's fun.
I need to get one of those.
Yeah. it's I think the one biggest problem that I have as a pet parent is not being able to be there and then feeling anxiety that something's going on and I should be at home, right?
Yeah.
So, right.
Yeah. And I think as well, there are a lot of dog-friendly places in Taiwan. Like there's a lot of cafes, restaurants you can take. So actually on Christmas Day, we took Boo to this little, it was actually, we went because it was a dog-friendly place.
Yay.
But they also did amazing food.
Oh, good.
And Boo got his own little plate of food.
You can order, there's a dog menu.
Yeah, well, no, I think they just have one. They just have
cute.
one
Okay.
kind of like dish that they give, but it looked pretty good, honestly.
Wow.
He really enjoyed it.
So, there are different health codes here. So I think that's the reason why, they have so many restaurants or
Right.
cafes that you can go to with dog.
Yeah.
So, right. Thanks for joining us today,
Oh,
Izzy.
thanks
It's
for
like,
having me on.
dude, we can totally go on and on about our dog.
We really could.
All right. Do you guys have a dog? Call in, message. Tell us about your pet parenting experience. But right. Join us next time on every Thursday. There is Geek Out. What's your cup of tea? What tickles your fancy or what floats your boat? We share passions from people in Taiwan and around the world. We'll see you next Thursday.